Hey, howdy, hey, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be reviewing RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 7, Episode 4. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to hit that like button. Comment down below what you thought about this episode, and hit that subscribe button. Come join the Amateur Hour community. And without further ado, let's get this video started. Alright. So for today's video, we are going to be reviewing All-Stars 7, Episode 4. This episode, of course, was the Fairytale Justice Challenge episode, improv episode, whatever you want to call it. It was a fun, cute little episode, and I'm going to go ahead and review it for you all. Before we do get into this, I do want to put out my disclaimer. This is not meant to send hate to any of these queens mentioned in this video. This is just a fun place for us to have a fun time here on the internet, talk about all things Drag Race and all of the above. Make sure you're also following me on my other social medias if you would like to. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Amateur Hour. I am everywhere. So, with that all out of the way, let's get into this review. Obviously, this episode starts out with the queens walking back into the workroom, as they all do. We get this cute moment with Jinx walking in. Of course, Jinx was blocked by Jada. Again, Jada explains why she blocked Jinx, because Jinx literally mentioned this was my only weakness, which is very true. So, of course, Jada blocked Jinx, which meant Jinx is no longer able to get a Legendary Legend Star if she were to win this episode. Again, I think this was a very smart choice from Jada to block Jinx, because Jinx is very much clearly a front runner in this season. And I think that was a super smart decision. Whew! Alright, so that happens. Not much else happens in this moment. I kind of want to skip to the next day in the workroom. Queens are all walking in. We have this cute moment of Jinx playing the ukulele, singing Bing Bang Bong, obviously from the Drag Race UK. This was a really cute moment. I just am really enjoying these, like, workroom moments between all of these winners, because it's so much fun, you know? Like, they all know who they are. They're all just having fun here. I feel like my assumption from what I've seen, heard online, and all the above is that the production on this season seems much more just chill. And I think a big part of that is because there's no risk of going home, right? No one's going home this season. So I think they're just able to have a lot more fun during the filming of this whole process. Sure. And all of the above. I just think it's been a really special season to watch. And just to watch drag queens doing drag queen things very well. You know, it's really nice to see. Seasoned drag queens doing seasoned drag queen things. Yes. Alright, so that happens. And then RuPaul comes out and introduces the Maxi Challenge, where they are going to be doing the Fairytale Justice Challenge. Improv challenge. Very much similar to Jersey Justice from All-Stars 4. Sort of similar vibe. Obviously, Michelle Visage is being the judge and all the above. So, the winners from last week being Jada and Trinity get to pick out their teams, of course. And Jada's team is going to consist of Jada, Jinx, Monet, and Evie. I think this was a very smart choice from Jada to pick Jinx right away, because Jinx is very much clearly an improv queen. Great job. Great choices. I think this group did really well together, and I think they had a lot of fun. And then, of course, Trinity's group is going to consist of Shea Coulee, Vivian, the Viv, for short, and Raja. Again, I think this was a smart choice as well. Again, Raja was the last one to be chosen, which was a bit... I don't necessarily get that, because I feel like Raja has really been able to flex her comedy muscles, if you will, and do a very great job on this season. So I would have picked Raja a little bit earlier, But I think all the teams ended up working out really well. So, Jada's group is going to be the Three Little Piggies and the Big Bad Wolf, being played by Evie. And then, of course, we get Trinity's group, which is the Goldilocks, the Bears, and all the things like that. So, let's go ahead and get into the Fairytale Justice Challenge. And we're going to start out with the Three Little Piggies group. Of course, first we have Jinx Monsoon coming out. Right from the gate, Jinx nailed it, knocked it out of the park, all the good things. Right out the gate with the door moment when she kept trying to close the door. Like, Jinx knows how to do improv, right? Jinx mentioned in the confessional, the first rule of improv is yes and Jinx knows how to do that. Jinx knows improv, and this was just a masterclass in improv to watch. Jinx just knows exactly what they are doing. One of my favorite Jinx moments actually was later after the courtroom scene when she's in the exit area with RuPaul and the ear falls off, and then she just goes with it. She's like, oh, I'm under so much stress, my body's falling apart. And then she says, oh, can you be louder? I can only half hear you. And it's just, these are the moments that really make Jinx so miles ahead of everyone else. It's the quickness on her feet, the ability to just realize, oh, this happened, let me roll with it. And it's so good. Like I said, it's a masterclass in improv to watch Jinx. And I love Jinx. I love Jinx so much. Just an incredible queen. So, of course, we have Jinx in one side. Then we get Evie, and this is Evie's Big Bad Wolf. Alright, so when it comes to Evie's Big Bad Wolf, first off, I do want to say major shout out to Evie because Evie was included in both of the groups and did continue to truly embody their role, so I gotta give them some major kudos for that. Like, that was very impressive. And the physicality that Evie brought to being the wolf was amazing. The ability to scratch her ear with her, lift her leg up and scratch her ear was just amazing. Again, really taking the dog aspect of it and really bringing physicality to it. And Evie does a really great job with that. So again, major kudos to Evie. Like, I thought Evie did a really great job as well. I will say, it was very, very similar to her boogeyman from Snatch Game. Not that that is a bad thing, just something I did notice. But I very, very much enjoyed Evie's Big Bad Wolf. When it comes to Jada's pick, alright, Jada comes in. First off, I do have to say this, Jada makes a beautiful pig. Like, the ability of blending the nose into her makeup is gorgeous. She looks like a model, and it's just so good. I feel like Jada really embodies the character as well, and she does a really great job of that. My issue mostly comes in with the fact that she was next to Jinx. Because Jinx was truly steering the scene, if you will, really embodying the character and just doing a really phenomenal job overall. And I do feel like Jada kind of, not faded in the back completely, but a little bit, if you get what I'm saying with that. She didn't stand out as well as Jinx did. Again, not a bad thing, just my own view on that. When it comes to Monet, that nose was not on you correctly. I loved Monet. Monet's one of my favorite queens. I don't think Monet did a particularly great job as the pig. Again, I think they all did great. Like, out of all of this group, they were all amazing, right? My issue, if you will, was with the nose. And also, I did feel a little bit like she did a very similar character to her character for Jersey Justice on All Stars 4. And because of that, I do take a few points off, because I have seen her essentially do the same role before. So I feel like it would have been nice to see her do something a little bit different. Again, these are all my own opinions, so let me know what you think down below. But, still, major shout out to Monet. I also do want to include another screenshot, because when they were slapping each other at one point during the scene, I do believe Monet's nose fell off. And I was just like, oh, Monet, it was not blended in well, it's not stuck, adhered to her skin properly. Yes, adhered to her skin properly. So for that, I do also take some points off. It was funny, but not, you get what I'm saying with that. So that was group 1. Now I'm going to discuss Trinity's group. And first off, we need to cover Shay and Viv. We are going to start off with Shay because Shay was the first person walking in. Shay's character was Halle Berry. Again, very much giving you bear tease. Shay did a good job. It did feel a little bit flat. Again, maybe that was a character choice that she did make. I'm not sure. But for me, it was a little bit one note and a little bit flat, and it didn't do too much. Not a bad thing. For me, it was safe. But I don't necessarily think she stood out super well in this scene. She very much faded away as well. Again, Shay is one of my favorite queens of all time. I just am giving you my honest opinions here. Next, I do want to talk about Viv. Viv did a phenomenal job being the Goldilocks and then being so many different characters. Just the ability for Viv to switch accents on a dime, switch characterization on a dime was so impressive. Huge major shout outs to Viv for just, and again, another masterclass in improv. It was so much fun to watch. I love this. I loved it, Viv. Huge kudos to you. If you watch this, awesome job. So good. When it comes to Raja was hilarious. Again, when we go back to the beginning of this episode, when it came to picking groups, Raja being last didn't make sense. Raja is hilarious. Raja's ability to embody a character's physicality is so impressive. And I thought she did an amazing job as the grandmother. Like, it was so good. So much fun. Again, I love Raja. Like, Raja did a really great job. Really great job from Raja. And it's also nice to see Raja do all of these improv and comedy challenges, because obviously on her original season 3, there were so many design challenges, we didn't really get much opportunity for Raja to really exhibit improv and comedy too much. Yeah, no, I love this moment from Raja, I really did. And then, of course, we get Trinity as the witch. I thought Trinity did a really great job as well. Her, again, character physicality, Trinity did a really great job. She really embodies the character, has fun with it. It was nice to watch. It was really nice to watch. However, of this group, my favorite is definitely going to be Viv. Viv or Raja, I think they both slayed it. Yeah. So that does bring me to the end of the Jersey Justice bit. Now we are going to go ahead and cover the runways. The runway theme was Spikes on the Runway. Alright. First we get Jada's look. Jada looked amazing. I love this look. I love the giant spikes on her jacket. Just really embodying the category. Jada was one of my favorites this week, I think. Yeah, Jada was one of my 2 favorites this week on the runway. Just such a great job. Really phenomenal look. The mug is correct. Like, the hair, gorgeous. I love Jada. This was great. Jinx. Jinx. This porcupine moment was cute. I get the idea for spikes on the runway being a porcupine dress. I get that. and I understand her interpretation of bringing Cruella de Vil sort of vibes to it. But for me, it was a bit boring compared to the other looks we got in the runway. So I'm gonna give it a. It was fine. It was a soft, good look. It was good, but it wasn't phenomenal, if that makes sense. Next, we get Monet a change. I love this. I love the mohawk. I love the absurd spikes all over the jacket. The goth punk vibes. So good. So good. I love the mohawk. I already said that, but like, oh my gosh, that mohawk. Truly, I thought Monet had another one of the best looks of the night. Like, gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Next, we get Evie Oddly. I love this, I love this, I love this. I love the fact that Evie was on point the entire time with her feet. Oh my god. And the spikes were awesome. I thought this was a gorgeous look. Really inventive, really creative. I really, really enjoyed this from Evie. I thought it was phenomenal. Alright. Now we get to Trinity the Tuck. For me, this was one of the weaker looks. It wasn't bad, but for me, it was one of the weaker looks compared to the rest. I didn't necessarily get spikes. I understand the idea of a stake through the heart being the spike. I get it. The vampire vibe, I get it. I don't think this was the category. So for me, it was one of the lower ends. Again, love Trinity, just, yeah, that's what I'm going to say about that. Next, we get Shea Coulee. Shea, you look gorgeous, not the category. Again, Shea, you look gorgeous, not the category. And the mug, gorgeous. Category, not the category. So, again, not the category. Can't really say much beyond that. I didn't necessarily get spikes from this, so I'm going to put this basically towards the bottom with Trinity. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say on that. Next, we get Viv. I love this. I loved it, I loved it, I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. It might be my favorite of the night. The spikes all over the body was phenomenal. Again, spikes on the runway, bring the spikes, alright? Bring the spikes all over, and this was it. So for me, this was one of my favorite looks of the night. Truly a great moment for Viv. Yeah, work. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. No complaints here. Work. And finally, we have Raja. This is just, Raja just knows what to bring on the runway for me, like, every week. This is ethereal. This is gorgeous. I love her mug, her hair. I love the spikes. Like, it just gives me goddess. It gives me ethereal. It gives me everything I need. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Great job, Raja. Again, phenomenal. Phenomenal look from Raja. Every week. She brings it to you every week. I mean, we can't really be surprised at this point, right? Yeah. So in terms of my favorite looks, of course we have Viv, Raja, and Jada. Those are my three favorites. Yeah. So now when we get to placements, the top two of this week are going to be Viv and Jinx. I will say I do agree with this. However, I also could have seen Raja being up there potentially. Because for me, Raja was in the top 3 with everything involved. So I could have seen Raja getting top 2. But I understand why we get Viv and Jinx. I do agree with that. So, Viv gets to receive her first Legendary Legend star. And Jinx does not, because Jinx was blocked last week by Jada. Again, great job. Great choice by Jada. Work. Like, yeah. Again, you don't want someone to now have 2 stars, right? We're still relatively early on in the season. And you don't want Jinx to just run away with it. So, again, great job from Jada last week. So, when it comes to this lip sync, Memento. Viv, you slayed it! This was a phenomenal job by Viv. Jinx, I think, did a great job too, but I definitely would have picked Viv to win. Again, yeah. When it comes to RuPaul though, RuPaul does pick Viv, so huge congratulations to Vivian. You won $10,000, and now you have officially won actual money from Drag Race. Congratulations. Good job, Viv. Really, really phenomenal look. Phenomenal moment for Viv. Great week work. When it comes to the plunger, the Vivian decides to give the plunger to none other than Monet Exchange. So, unfortunately, Monet has been blocked. Again, Monet's strategy of going under the radar didn't necessarily work. However, I will say it was a better time to be blocked now, earlier on in the competition, as opposed to later, where things might be changing up. So, again, let me know what you think about this episode down below in the comment section. That does bring me to the end of my review. Make sure to like this video if you liked it. Share it on social media. Get the channel growing even more. Follow me on social medias as well. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at SamateurHour. And like, comment, share. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Come join the Amateur Hour community. We have a fun time over here on this side of the interwebs. And I will see y'all later. Bye.